Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for The Outsider, a 2018 Netflix movie starring Jared Leto. So, as always, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the furry. To start off with, the furry. There isn't any. Moving on. So, good and the bad. The good is that Jared Leto is in this movie. And let me just tell you right now, I'm a Jared Leto fan. I love Jared Leto. Love Jared Leto movies, love Jared Leto person, love Jared Leto's music. So I have a little bit of bias when it comes to Jared Leto in movies. So he is in this one. He is the star of this one. And I have loved Jared Leto ever since I watched A Beautiful Lie, his music video. I just loved his eyes. And in this one, you get to see quite a bit of his eyes because there's lots of scenes where he is the main focus, but he's not necessarily talking a whole bunch or blinking a whole bunch. So I really like that. I will say that the color tone of this movie is a little desaturated, and I still liked it. I thought that it worked well with the atmosphere that they were going for. Also, it's set in post-World War II Japan, so like in Japan when America was basically occupying Japan for a bit. I personally, again, not a Japanese historian, I don't know how accurate it is to how things actually were back then, but since it involves Jared Leto, I imagine that if not necessarily precisely historically accurate, I don't think that it would be that it was done in a way that disrespected Japanese culture or history. So, yeah. But Jared Leto, he basically gets recruited into the Yakuza, if you will. And he, with the one bad, is that it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense why he gets to start hanging out with the boss of this particular gang. Like, I didn't really see how he went from over here to hanging out with the boss. I thought that they kind of missed that, but if you just pretend there was a scene missing or something, and just kind of get, okay, yeah, no, it makes sense for him to start hanging out with the boss. If you just go with it, it's a lot more fun. And the rest of the movie makes quite a bit of sense. There is a small part that Emile Hirsch plays. If you like Emile Hirsch, he's in this movie for a little bit. But yeah, I also really like getting back to Jared Leto for a second because can't not talk about him enough. I liked his wardrobe. You get to see Jared Leto in a three-piece suit, and he looks fantastic in a three-piece suit. So, but moving on to the actual plot of this movie, it is a little slow, I will say that. I'm not sure exactly where they could have tightened things up, but it did feel a little slow at points. Also, Jared Leto's character doesn't really talk a whole bunch. Like, if you recall, or if you've really recently seen, because some people recall it differently than it actually was, but if you recall Terminator 1, how Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator really didn't talk a whole bunch. Like, he had very few lines. And so Jared Leto's character also didn't talk a whole bunch. So when he did talk, you knew to listen. Also, props to Jared Leto's character for knowing when to, like, be violent or take action type of thing, because if I was his character, I wouldn't know, okay, do I not take action? Because, you know, if I do, then it's going to piss off this guy, which is going to piss off this whole family, and then other things are going to have to happen. Or do I be violent because we gotta, we can't be seen as weak or whatever. Like, I wouldn't know how to thread that needle, but his character does, so that's nice. But yeah, in regards to the violence, it is, the movie is rated TVMA, so rightfully so. There is several scenes set in a Japanese strip club where there's hot, naked Asian women dancing, naked, and I mean, that's not a bad thing in my opinion, but it is TVMA, and then the violence, it's not gratuitous, but it is graphic. So it makes sense with, again, the storyline that's going on and the actions that the characters are taking. It does make sense, but there is some graphic nature to the actions that you see. So just be warned. But overall, if you like a little bit slower paced movies, if you like Jared Leto, if you like post-World War II Japan movies, I know it's a little bit of a niche market, but if you like those, I think you should watch this movie because you're gonna have a good time. Alrighty, thanks for coming. Hope to see you at the next one. Bye!